is a signal to the world that we are open for business.
We are now open for business. This is 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏 bringing you yet another episode to guide you in discovering your passion and growing your business as we learn from experts in the field. Sama-sama tayong matuto sa isa na namang makabuluhang usapan tungo sa pagpapaunlad ng inyong negosyo. Ang Open for Business ay mapapanood nyo rin sa Facebook, sa YouTube. Siguraduhin mag-like at mag-subscribe sa aming social media page at Net25 TV. Alamin natin, suriin mula sa mga negosyante, thought leaders at mga personalidad sa iba't ibang larangan ang mga strategies, trends at mahalagang karanasan sa pagninegosyo dahil tayo ay open for business. There is a plethora of business awards in the country but only a few command respect. The Asia CEO Awards recognizing business leaders since 2010 is among the few. We'll sit down with its founders, Ms. Rebecca Bustamante and Richard Mills, to tell us more about the awards and learn from one of the successful case studies in business leadership, their own story.
Kasiyahan na puno ng impormasyon at nagbibigay inspirasyon sa buong pamilya. Tuwing Sabado at Linggo, alas 8 hanggang alas 9 ng umaga, dito lamang sa Net25. Ito ang Tahanan!
Alam namin ang iyong pagsisikap. Dama namin ang iyong mga sakripisyo. Kita namin ang pagharap mo sa bawat pagsubok. Kaya sa kabila ng mga hamon ng buhay, nandito kami para umalalay. Kasi katulad mo, gusto rin namin ang magandang bukas para sa kanya. Hatid namin ang dekalidad na edukasyon at makabagong pasilidad sa abot kayang halaga. Kaya huwag ka nang mangamba. Sasamahan ka namin tuparin ang mga pangarap niya. Maaasahan mong sulit dito ang mga pinagsikapan mo. Sa aming mga makabagong pasilidad at sistema ng edukasyon. Mailalabas natin ang aking talino at mga kakayahan niya. Kahit sa munting halaga, makakasiguro ka na makakasabay siya sa mabilis na pag-ikot ng mundo. Sa New Era, karamay mo kami sa bawat hamon. Kaagapay mo kami sa bawat hakbang. Kasama mo kami sa bawat ngiti at tagumpay.
The spotlight is on, searching for the brightest stars in Asian business, the leaders who are shaping the future of the region's economy. The prestigious Asia CEO Awards, known for recognizing and celebrating Filipino business excellence across various industries, is open for nominations, and we will find out more details about this initiative. At the helm of these incredible awards are visionary leaders, Ms. Rebecca Bustamante and Mr. Richard Mills, President and Chairman of Asia CEO Awards, respectively. Under their guidance, the Asia CEO Awards have become a beacon of inspiration, not only for Filipino businesses, but for aspiring entrepreneurs across Southeast Asia. Welcome to Open for Business, Rebecca and Richard. How are you, Rebecca?
Good. Thank you for inviting us.
And Richard?
Thank you. Yes, very nice to be here, Cesar.
I attended the media launch of the Asia CEO Awards, and I was amazed with the new participants. What has changed? Maybe ladies first.
So many things, especially the Asia CEO Awards is already on our 15th year.
Wow.
And 15 years symbolize of crystal.
Wow.
It means the purity, the clarity of the vision of making Philippines a business hub in Asia, or First World Philippines, is really happening. And it's so exciting to see so many organizations and big companies coming and be part of that. So, nakakatuwa.
Yes. Richard, you were recognizing a lot of businesses during the media launch, and it's like, I admire the way you conduct it, because it's like you know them for a long time, and some of them were already awardees, and there they were, presenters or organizations who now host and take lead in making these awards into fruition. How is that? How do you do that, Richard?
Well, we want to help build organizations. Many did start smaller or even very small and then became big. And they feel, I'm glad they credit us with our help with them. I mean, we're a small part of what they do, but if it helps them promote their business so they get bigger, they hire more people, expand into other countries, this is what we want to do, to help build their business and the nation.
Wow. Now, Rebecca, you just mentioned it's now on its crystal anniversary. That's 15 years. What were the challenges along the way? I know that we just bounced back from the pandemic and you still were there. You also had an executive search company, and a lot of people and even organizations stopped. What were the challenges along the way on that span of 15 years?
Actually, with the last 15 years, the biggest challenges to start with is really believing in us, believing on the vision. Because the time it was the Tiger of Asia, they said, or nothing happening here. Because early 2000, you see the libis is not happening yet. The EDSA, so many issues. You know, the BGC doesn't exist yet.
Yes.
The highway. So how can you say that making Philippines a first world country? But we believe that very strongly, because we believe in Filipinos, we believe in foreigners, and we thank you, Richard, very much for really marketing Philippines and the Filipinos around the world. And look what happened. We're not taking, as what he said again, the benefits of marketing Philippines, but look what happened with the BPO. We are the #1 in the world because Filipinos we're very kind, we're very loving, hardworking, at laging nakangiti kahit pinapagalitan. Di ba ang ganda?
Yes.
So we don't focus on the negativity or the challenges, building the nation or running the Asia CEO events, more focusing on where are we going. Kaya nakakatuwa talaga.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Rebecca, because, as you said, there's a lot of problems with infra, and somehow in your events, you try to look for that special flavor of the Philippines, and you bank on that. But this is now my question to Richard. The moment I entered the ballroom where you had the media launch, what struck me most was the theme, which is Fortune favors the Philippines. So that is something. So I said, wow, what was the inspiration behind that?
Well, the inspiration is it's the
That's a tough
reality.
one.
People are beating a path to the Philippines. For the past 30 years, we've all heard about China as the big, can't do anything wrong. It was just up forever. They were going to go. And a great nation certainly have achieved so much. But lately, they've had a habit of picking fights with neighbors, trading partners, customers. What are they thinking? Now, I can't imagine Filipinos ever doing that. But the reality is, so many companies are coming out of China and looking for where to go next. And one of the premier destinations is Philippines. Now we want it to be because there's many other good, Vietnam, Indonesia, and so forth. But we just want Philippines to do better. That's right. I think a reasonable expectation. But that's a reality. There's still a lot of gloominess, as there is in every country. Filipinos love hearing gloomy news about their own country for reasons I don't get, but the rest of the world sees it as one of the world's great growth opportunities. And it's going to become, over the next 10 years, 15, 20, I don't know how long, Philippines will be one of these real special situations. So we're going to see a big opportunity. We already are, and we got to make sure that we're promoted and known for this. So I can go into that more detail, but you go ahead.
Yes, the data clearly supports that.
It does.
Richard, because say for example, with the GDP, we have higher GDP growth compared to the other Asian neighboring
In
countries.
Asia,
Yes. So I'm also interested with what you mentioned, Rebecca, where say BPO still is the key driver in the Philippine economy. So now, in choosing the awardees, I know that there's a lot of nominations. What are your parameters? I'm sure it's tough looking at all of them because I'm sure you will be expecting a lot of nominations again, which started May 1. So what is it that the Board of Judges are looking for in this season?
Actually, that's a very good question, but the perfect person who can answer that is Richard being a judge.
Go ahead.
Well, something special and different and unique. First in Philippines, the biggest in Philippines, brand new, pioneering, innovation, these kinds of things. You need to do good financially as well. Expanding and growing, that's important. The other component is the social component. Every single award has a social component. You need to do well in your business. You also need to do well for the nation. What are you doing for your community? How are you promoting people, giving higher wages, hiring new people, social programs to help other? These kinds of things are also a key component for every single award.
Wow, interesting. Now, Rebecca, I've seen your videos on YouTube. You are hailed as a self-made, and being one of the leaders of the Asia CEO Awards, we've seen how you toiled for this, figuratively, financially, and probably emotionally. So, in your case, how do you reflect over the years on the changing landscape of the behavior maybe of Filipino professionals and Filipino businesses? Paano yung pagbabago? Ano ba yung mga nakita mo na, especially now that we are in the advent of digital economy, a lot of things are online, a lot of people are now influencers, and even the broadcasters, the YouTubers compete with the mainstream, a lot of things like that. But in your case, ano yung nakikita mo talaga na pagbabago ng landscape pagdating sa Filipino professionals and businesses?
Actually, it's so big ang changes, comparing in early 2000 to now. Like now, Filipinos are really first class, first world. The way we act, the way we communicate, everything, like kahit yung lifestyle, it's really first world. Like you can see the children right now, how they raise their children. All English is speaking. You go to the mall, mas maganda pang ang mga mall natin kaysa sa ibang bansa. Minsan pag umuwi ako ng Toronto, aba, parang mas maganda pa sa Pilipinas
Yes.
With hindi sa pagyayabang, but that's a reality. Kasi ang ganda talaga yung pagbabago ng Pilipinas. The infrastructure natin, grabe na. Yung mga buildings natin, customer service, there's no comparison. No comparison at all. I'm sure Richard will agree with me. Go to any hotel, 5-star hotel, outside to compare here. Oh, alam mo, syempre, I cannot, di ba? Ibang-iba talaga tayo. So, yun ang pagbabago. At saka yung camaraderie ng mga Filipinos, as ang ganda talaga yung, we don't focus, ang isang pinakamaganda sa Pilipinas na nakita ko, I know the government, maraming mga issues, maraming mga problema, but we don't focus on that. We don't listen to that, but we focus more on ano talaga yung mai-contribute natin para gumanda buhay natin. Kasi when our family, gumanda ang buhay, gumanda ang community natin, gaganda ang nation natin. Especially the tourism, tignan mo, napakaganda na ngayon yung local tourism natin.
Yes.
Ang ganda nangyayari doon. Right? So, ang kailangan natin improve lang sa atin is the international tourism. Kailangan nating increase doon. But look at the resorts, yung mga local resorts natin, ang gaganda. First world talaga ang dating niya. So, I mean, we cannot complain, but really working together para talagang i-hit natin yung 2040 for Philippines First World.
Wow. Richard, coming from Rebecca's response, foreigners, she mentioned Toronto. You, as of course, Canadian by citizenship. What I noticed was that you're also a voice somehow, the voice of expats here in the Philippines. You are active with maybe the chambers of commerce, and also you interface with a lot of foreigners like you. What is it that they like here in the Philippines? We know that the Philippines, I heard Secretary, the Special Assistant to the President, Frederick Go, telling us that there are a lot of government initiatives to attract more investments. And Rebecca mentioned infrastructure. So in your case, what are those whispers or what is it that they like and probably they don't like about Philippine business? Are they concerned about bureaucracy? Are they concerned about? And I'm sure they're telling you a lot of their challenges also in the Philippines. But maybe let's talk first on what are the positive ones. You know, why are they attracted to invest here in the Philippines?
You said a lot of good points. If I can address, something that Filipinos think is that only their country has, chaotic politics or something like this. But I can tell you every country feels they have more chaotic politics and issues like that than in Philippines. It's well known in the expat community that when an expatriate from any country that gets sent here, when the end of his posting comes, it's well known that they do not want to go back home. They want to be a part of the opportunity. I mean, they enjoy the people, and beach, whatever, all that stuff. But the business opportunities that are here are unique in the world. When you go, you talk to Europeans, you talk to Americans, you talk whatever, Japanese, many countries are facing stagnation in their economy as they are aging, and it's really difficult to grow. The bureaucracy and cost of doing business in other countries and hassles of doing that is beyond belief. Philippines is, yes, okay, there's issues and there's problems, but compared to other countries, it's really not. So again, this is such a unique, special time for Philippines, and we want to get, part of the event is getting Filipinos excited and ready, so that rather than, young people wanting to leave the country and, and miss the opportunity that is happening right in front of us here. This is where the rest of the world wants to come, and yet some young Filipinos think that they want to leave. It's beyond. So this is part of the thing, is convincing the rest of the world and displaying, the good things that are happening here, but also, for some Filipinos, because I don't know how they have how such smiling, loving people can be so a bit gloomy sometimes about their own country.
Okay. Rebecca, you also mentioned something about the traits of the Filipino earlier. Of course, when you talked about customer service, about the hospitality, and of course, when we go to different countries in the world, we are the how do you say it, client-facing race. So as we move through the Asia CEO Awards, how do you describe the Filipino talent over the years? What has changed with them? And are there new skills that were developed? You were telling me also that you're into executive search. What are you looking for now in terms of the Filipino talent?
The big changes of Filipinos now compared then, now we become more very confident. We can really speak up. Richard always said that we are very humble, we're more quiet compared to other people in the outside of the world, but now Filipinos actually, we can really voice out whatever messaging that we have. Like I mean, we can talk about it already. We're not shy, we're more confident, we can really share what we want. And that's what's happening already because of the BPO. We give credit to the BPO for that. Like the people were very confident. And now what's so nice being in the executive search, some information we have that local CEOs, some of them are making more money than the expat. Like imagine that,
Really?
yes.
Yes.
And also sometimes even HR, like they make more money than a CEO because it's more on the skills of the person, not the position. So, mga kababayan, if you want to really make a lot of money, you have to develop yourself. You have to uplift your education, learn as much as you can, maximize, because the more you contribute, the more you do, your income will really increase without you knowing. And that's what's happening in the Philippines. It's more you as a person, hindi yung position mo.
Wow, I love this conversation. Okay, back to you, Richard.
Maybe Richard want to add more on
Okay,
that.
please
Can
add
I?
more.
Yeah.
Oh, sure,
Yeah, a
sure.
lot of Filipinos think that they're underpaid in the world, and okay, in many areas they are, but at the senior levels, they are not. They are very well paid. I can, more, like she said, like the cost and risk of hiring an expatriate and bringing them from halfway around the world and then thinking that they're going to be able to culturally acclimatize themselves and then be effective. They don't want to do that. Companies want to hire senior people in Philippines. So like she said, Filipinos, we need to get them ready to take these positions of these many companies that are coming in here. So this is a big priority because they are paid very well. I mean,
Can I add
we're
also on
shocked
that?
by
Because so many Filipinos, expat Filipino we called now, they went abroad and worked. Now coming back here, you know what's their income now? They're treated like expat Filipinos.
Wow.
So it's so amazing because the experience, the knowledge that they had overseas, bringing it back here, ang ganda.
And we need that so
And
much.
mga
Cesar.
kababayan, come back to Philippines. You didn't need to live, like especially if you go out as an expat Filipino, then fine. Pero yung mga OFW na nasa lower position, you don't have to go out kasi kahit na yung mga domestic helper dito, pag ang mga amo nyo, yung mga expat, you make more money than going to other country. I can tell you that. I can prove that to you. So wag na kayong pumunta sa ibang bansa, dito na kayo maghanap ng trabaho dahil makakakita kayo ng malalaking sahod at malapit pa sa pamilya nyo.
You mentioned about coming from Rebecca, this Filipino talent, and that they have a lot of opportunities here now, and they're earning. Some of them are earning greater than the foreigners. My question is, in what industries? I noticed during the Asia CEO Awards, there's banking, there's real estate, there's talent search, there's health and wellness. I think the difference of the 15th Asia CEO Awards is that, somehow there's a representation of different industries. Can you talk more about that?
Yeah, that's such a good point, because the same happened in the early days with our nominations. There was only a very small number of sectors that participated because there was so few sectors that were doing well. Now it's become so diverse, where we have, and if you look at our Circle of Excellence awardees, they are the same way. Every industry, healthcare, infrastructure, construction, BPO, IT, tourism on and on and on, and it wasn't like that, I can tell you, 15 years ago at all. So that's been a big
So
change.
only those that are big brands used to participate.
Yeah,
like without
remember?
naming names, maybe the telcos and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
But this time it's diverse.
Yep.
So much.
What attracted them to participate?
Let me tell you one challenge Philippines has, okay, and what we're trying to, the purpose of the event and trying to help to overcome it. Let me ask you a question. Let's say there was a couple of, an Indian guy and a Chinese guy here, and you ask them, is India and China good places to do business? What do you think about hiring people from China? What do you think they would say?
Of course, they will promote their own. The
They
Indian
will
guy will say
slam
India.
their fist
Yeah.
down and say, yes, Indians are smart, and
Yeah,
Indians are
yes.
hardworking, and Indians are... Now, if you had some Filipinos here, what would they say when you ask that question?
If they will ask me, of course, here in the Philippines.
Okay,
If
you
it's
would,
me,
but
yes.
many people they're too humble. And it's something that makes them very delightful and why everybody enjoys working with Filipinos, but
Yeah.
they're not comfortable saying that.
Yes.
And they will almost never pound their fist, and saying, Filipino, we're better than others, and all. They don't talk like that. So what we're trying to do with our enterprise here is promote Philippines on a global level. Get people from different countries up on the stage, arm in arm with Filipinos, with the message that if they can do it, you can too, kind of a thing. So this is the idea, and we really do want to highlight Filipinos. And I can give you an example of that if you like.
Go ahead.
We had a young guy, he sells bangus in pizza boxes and it's flavored. I think there's garlic bangus, candy, I don't know, all kinds of different goofy flavors. Anyway, so he came to us a couple of years ago, I think, nominated. He saw the big billboards around. He said, okay, I'll put my thing in. And at the time, he only had 10 or 12 maybe little franchises. He came, he did the forms, did it properly and so forth. Won. Because it was a unique, valid thing, and the judges said, hey, this is a neat thing, something different, and so forth. That night, he signed up franchise, as people from the audience came up and said, hey, I've heard of you, and now I can meet you, how can I buy? And then a year later, a little more than, he had 100 franchisees.
Wow.
Across the country, and a growing business. And if you see the guy, nice guy, maybe you can have him on the show sometime. He's, kind of got long hair. He showed up in a suit, but you could tell he didn't wear a suit very much, stuff like this. The nicest guy, right? So this is what we want to do, is find things, opportunities where people can grow their business just by promoting them and displaying them to others. So that's what we want to do on a global scale with the event, so that Philippines becomes a bang bang bangus and grows big,
Wow, interesting.
Maybe I can add something
Yeah,
also
sure. Go
about
ahead.
these awards. Why people really happy receiving the awards? Because when you become Circle of Excellence, it means you really earn it. As what Richard said, like the quality of submissions are really, the competition is really big. But being chosen as Circle of Excellence, talagang pinaghirapan mo yon. Kasi you cannot buy the awards. Like that's one thing, the quality, okay? You cannot buy it. Nomination is free, okay? So, pag naging kuwang ka na lang doon, imagine doon, kasi yung submissions, the information that you submitted, it talagang napakalaki noon, right? Kaya receiving that small, grabe talagang pinag-aawayan yon. And especially the big one. Pag meron ka na malaking trophy na ganyan, it means something. You are an example for people, to your family, to your employees, to the community, to be an inspiration that na kung kaya nga nila yon, kaya mo din. And that's what Richard's saying also. Kaya napakaganda talaga pagdating ng awards. The quality, the purity ng trophy na yon. Kaya that's what it means ng ACCU Awards.
This portion is brought to you by Northview Solutions. Let us build it for you.
Now, Rebecca, one of the interesting things also that I heard during that media launch was the way how Richard and the HSCO Awards, even the speakers there, the way they promote local products and talent with the aim of putting it in the international market. And I think based on your statements, you wanted to somehow promote the Philippines, the Philippine industries to the global stage. Are there case studies where some of the awardees got into the international market, be it an executive there or as a global brand?
Yeah. For example, one is the Santi Philippines. Santi Philippines won, I think, entrepreneurship or SME, one of those category. And he started his barley product. And look now, he's in the 7 countries worldwide. He started from Philippines and expanded overseas. Yan, hindi yan normal. Kaya we're very
it's
thankful.
hard to-
And it's so nice for him to carry the brand, because receiving that awards, yan ang ginagamit niyang marketing materials. And look at these awards because it says na yung company ko talagang tunay. So, yun ang ginagawa nila. Another company also is like Sprout Solution. When Sprout Solution they started, we really market them all over Philippines kasi local kwan din sila. They are an HR provider, right? The payroll
HR
at saka
tech.
HR tech sila. And look at them now. Like, they have so many investors worldwide there, and they're doing so great things. Like last year, they're even invited in Harvard University to really understand yung kanilang system, how they become so big. Ganon. So, ang ganda talaga. Pag ginamit nila yung agency award na brand na yan, to their target customers, pag sinerge kasi ng client na yan, yung quality is there, and right away, it's a good marketing for it helps them. Nanggaling din sa kanila mga words na yun, ha? Parang, I'm not claiming that. That information is from them. Came from them.
That's good, that's good. It's really more authentic. Now, Richard, a lot of people at the surface, they see things like it's an award, it's a trophy, but based on our observation, because I was also a witness of the awards when I was still with other corporations. I was on the client side and I was covering that, and we were also an awardee. It wasn't just an award. There's a lot of learning. There's a lot of knowledge that you impart. You do, aside from the awards night, there's a series of learnings and knowledge. Why is that? What do you do? And what are the topics that you really focus on when you do, this forum, this knowledge sharing?
As you know, we host regular events, business events across the country. So these people who win our awards become key because we can, again, display them, have them speak and tell their story. They meet people. The other speakers, sponsors, and participants want to do business with them, and they want to do business with others. So that helps them grow their business. And then just promoting their name. So the learning side, it's more through networking and meeting people. We want people to grow their business so they can use this Circle of Excellence awardee thing as part of their marketing material. We're really pleased it seems to work for them. And then as well, directly with, there's so many people. I mean, she fills the ballroom with 1,200 people, most senior executives of the nation attend, billionaires attend. We're so pleased. And there's a lot of people there who want to know about each other's businesses and how can we help you and can you help us and this kind of a thing. So yeah, that's a key component of the event.
All the Circle of Excellence and winners, they have an opportunity to speak in the regular events. For example, the SME Forum.
Okay.
So the Circle of Excellence and winner last year invited to speak, to share why they won, their experiences, so that when they share that, actually the future leaders can be inspired, they can learn, so that the more people that they can share those knowledge, the faster Philippines become first world. And then with that also, as what Richard's saying, also the networking, because when you meet, you just shake hands, you can close deal right away right there. Diba? Everything is relationship na. Like, diba, before advertising, mga ad, now it's a relationship building. Shake hand lang, pwede na kayo magnegosyo. And that's what we're trying to do. We are people brokers. Can I use that term? People brokers.
People brokers.
Putting it
Love
together. Diba? At saka libre pa yan. Diba? Oo.
Okay. Oh, interesting. But now, Rebecca, all of us know, and I think you're the best person to respond to this. There's a lot of award-giving bodies now. Of course, you're the most prestigious and a pioneer, having pioneered this for 15 years. But what's the impact of this? I know people say, okay, the more awards, the better. Because it's really a celebration, of accomplishments. But what sets you apart?
Well, what sets HSU Awards really the quality, the clarity. It's pure, and also PwC is the one who's receiving all the nominations. And they scrutinize, they audit everything. And that's how it works. We're not receiving nothing. We don't know who even win at the end. So PwC is the one who handle all those things. So talagang very legit. That's why people really chose to submit their nomination with us. But of course, others doing it, we're very happy because actually they're inspired. They're inspired on what we're doing. That's why they want to do that too. So the more people who do it, the faster also become Philippine First World. So for us, it's fine. It's a good competition.
So we are free.
Yeah.
That is a big difference. You nominate for free. There's no cost. You win for free. So our judges.
Oh, by the way, yes,
people-
speaking of judges, so who selects it? I know that you have a panel. You have a panel of judges that's also selected strategically. Who are these? Can you name, some?
Sure, there are people who you can never mess with their integrity. If there's any issue, companies who want to submit and they have been in the news or had cases against them or what, corruption maybe or something like this, they're going to have a really hard time. Because Bernie Villegas, the prominent economist who led the committee that wrote the country's constitution.
Yes.
𝗗𝗶𝗴𝗶𝗶, the prominent architect, urban planner, who's master planned a large percentage of the country's master
and
plans
even abroad.
And abroad, correct.
Yes.
Many. 𝗗𝗶𝗴𝗶𝗶𝗏, who formerly ran 𝗵𝗵𝗏. Bing Lim Hoko, called the mother of franchising in Philippines. Many of the franchises that we all eat at, she had a big hand in getting them established and promoting them and so forth. Many of them have gone abroad. People like this. This is what we want. People who have impeccable integrity, who are well known and know many people. So every submission, there's people who know the people and what they've done and so forth. So PwC is excellent with the data and scrutinizing things and really researching down whether there's cases against them or funny stuff or anything like that. But the judges is where it really the real final decision is made.
Well, I had experience filling up that nomination during my time with EDIC Innovations. I think we spent about 2 weeks, putting all this data together. So it was tough, really. Okay. Now, there's a lot of categories. I know that these are all your favorites, but each one of you maybe name a couple that's your favorite. I see here it's Lifetime Achievement, Lifetime Contributor, Expat Executive, Young Leader, Technology Company, Wellness, Diversity, SME Company, Service Excellence, Most Innovative, Woman Leader, which I think is new, Sustainability Company, Entrepreneur of the Year, Global Filipino Executive, Executive Leadership Team, CSR Top Employer of the Year. Maybe 2 favorites on these categories. I know there's a lot, but I'm sure at least a couple stands out.
Of course, my favorite being a woman.
Okay.
How about you, Richard?
What else aside from Woman of the Year,
Young
and
leader.
why?
And diversity is also good. Imagine the young, even though you're 29 years old, if you really achieve something, you build something great, like innovation, something different that nobody knows, that's something to recognize, right? Yeah,
yes.
diversity, it doesn't matter what gender you're in, if you're doing
Inclusive.
something, right? So, first world talaga yun, no?
Okay.
Right? How about you, Richard?
Well, the top employer is an interesting award because when we first started it, the focus, 15 years ago, the focus was employment. Who are the companies who are hiring the most people and giving jobs to Filipinos? Because that was the most important thing. Today, it's become, the quality of the employers that there are and the amount of programs and to develop people, to promote them, to get them involved with charity work, to put them in postings overseas. It's amazing what they've done. So that has really become a big award that is extremely sought after by, again, Diversa. As well, the CSR is interesting because it's amazing what companies are doing that you don't know. Companies you think are only interested in making money, but they do fantastic work. Helping people who are poor and bringing them up and educating and saving the environment and on and on. So that's really interesting to me to watch each year and the quality of the organizations. The big conglomerates, the big international, it's amazing. But as well, I know you have a lot of entrepreneurs here, but I'm also very proud of, we have an Entrepreneur of the Year Award and an SME Company of the Year Award. And they're similar. Yeah, there's other too. And just that we've seen people start small, and then you follow up with them, and they come, hey Richard, remember that award you won? I really appreciate it. Now I've got this number of locations, and we've expanded. It's really a rewarding.
Yeah, you
thing.
feel so good.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Which exactly is my next question. So how are you rewarded? And you know that you celebrate the excellence of businesses and other people, but how are you rewarded with this?
Well, this is very exciting. That's a very good question. If we're able to build the museum to display all the Circle of Excellence, especially the winners, then that would be the rewards.
And do you have a timeline for that?
What's your timeline? Well, I cannot put that yet in public, right? But we're able to get a location in Tagaytay. But now is actually architect qualifies already the design, but now it's starting to really raise the fund. So we have to work more harder so that at least we can have money to build the museum, and then we can start displaying, and whoever can continue and make it big. That would be the payoff there.
Wow, that's good. Okay, I'm trying to get more personal now because I think we've done a lot of things in business already, and later on we'll flash on the screen where can they submit their nominations later as we close the show. But Richard, in your case, I know that you celebrate these Filipino businesses, you promote the Philippines, but what is your dream?
I want to see Philippines hit first world status 2040. That's what I want to see.
That's how many years from now?
About 15 16. That's when, now whether it's hit at that time or, might have a couple more years or before. I'll be happy either way. And according to the, we have these regular events where we have economists speaking, and they lecture me on this, that Philippines is on track. At 7% growth rate, 6 or 7, hopefully 7, this country can make it. It's already in the next, I remember we had former Finance Secretary Diokno speak, along with Bernie Villegas, and there was a couple of others. Philippines is right at the border of hitting what they call upper middle income status. The UN has these designations, and I won't go into but Philippines is going to hit that very, very soon. And so, again, there's a lot of people who think Philippines is a poor country, but it'll be upper middle income status. So, and then from there, that next leap to just get to that first world status. I could go through the numbers, but it'll take too long, and I don't want to bore your group. But it's not just possible; it is likely, barring some catastrophe, it should be hitting that very close to it, or over that line, 2040. So get ready for it. This is why we got to get Filipinos ready for it, developing their skills to get ready for the job. Because if we can't find those most senior people, then they can't hire all the people below, right? We got to develop those senior people for those senior top jobs.
Okay. One hypothetical question before we end this conversation. Assuming you are the CEO of the Philippines, what is it that you will do so that we will reach the first world status
You asking me?
He's already a CEO.
of the Philippines?
Well, CEO of Philippines.
Let's just change the word president. And you have the power to execute your first executive order. What is it that you will...
It's a very big
I know, but
it's a tough
on top of
one.
your mind.
infrastructure. They are doing fantastic work. Something like tourism. You know, Philippines deserves to be a superpower in the world for tourism. But you can't if it takes too long to get to the beach, right? Education is the other one. I would say we really got to focus as much on that as possible, because to earn a global income, you need to have global skills, right? So this is what we need to, and even some of you know 𝗷𝗶𝗴𝗶𝗶𝗶, who's a PhD doctor and so forth, but even he talks about technical training. You know, why are we still teaching kids, you know, Shakespeare and poetry and Rizal, when they need, you know, skills that can get them employed?
Coding, artificial intelligence,
Mechanics,
robotics,
robots, even fixing
Engineering.
AC units, engineering, all of these, electrical work.
Agreed.
These are highly sought after and well paid. So, so that would be the other thing.
Wow.
There's more to it than
That's
that.
it. Right? And for education.
Impressive.
Yeah.
But in your case, Ms. Rebecca, I know that you are the epitome of an accomplished woman. Marami ka na rin namang nagawa. Marami ka na rin naitulong sa bansa at sa mga katulad mong babae. Ano pa ba yung pangarap mo rin na para sa palagay mo, you will be more accomplished if you are able to achieve that? What is that?
Wow, like life is too short. So, para sa akin, to help, right? So, ang talagang gustong-gusto ko yung education, as what Richard said, yung inspiration, giving them hope na kahit mahirap lang tayo, kung gusto nating umasinso, pwede. Kasi education is very important, but you don't even have to go to school kung wala kang pera. Everything now, opportunities sa online. Just go online, ang dami namang pag-aaralan. Kasi hindi na kailangan ng mga degree ngayon. Ang mahalaga ay yung talino mo, yung experience mo, kung anong nasa puso mo, pagsamay mo yung isip at saka yung puso, tapos gawin mo trabaho, grabe ang pagbabago. Kasi yun ang gusto ko talagang yung ididiretso na pagbabago natin. Kasi by doing that, first world talaga, mahihit natin yun. Dr. 𝗷𝗶𝗴𝗶𝗶 said it's done deal, 2040.
Let's finish this conversation, but before we leave, okay, you first, Rebecca. What is your advice to young people who would eventually be CEOs? What are your tips to them?
Hanapin nyo kung ano talaga ang purpose ninyo. Tapos, i-develop nyo ang skills ninyo. Mag-aral kayo. Kahit na wala tayong edukasyon, wala tayong pamasay pupunta sa school, wala tayong pambayad sa mga matrikula. But you know what? Pumunta lang kayo online, kahit saan pwede na. Sorry to say, but huwag nyo sayangin ang mga kanyo sa Facebook, sa mga social media, sa mga mall, kundi gamitin nyo ang oras nyo sa pagbabag, sa pag-aaral. Kasi the more information na ilalagay nyo sa isipan nyo, yun ang pagbabago at talagang maraming opportunity pupunta sa inyo. Kasi I always said, kahit ako din noon, kahit katulong ako, nag-aaral ako, talagang ginagamit ko yung oras ko para lang yung pagbabago na yun. So kung gawa ko yun, magagawa nyo rin para at least dire-diretso ang pagbabago natin by really making Philippine first world. Kasi hindi namin kaya to, but lahat tayo, kaya natin.
Okay, same to you, Richard. The question is, you're not now talking to businesses, but to kids, to young people. What are your tips for them as they become the future CEOs?
It's a broad subject. Running your own business is something that I think is critical to the country's development and to their own personal development. Whether you're working for another organization or working for yourself, you're really always in business for yourself. And you want to work hard, save your money. Don't, I mean, when I see so many people spending their money on things that aren't useful, it is a concern. But developing your skills, saving your funds and living frugally, very important, and developing your people skills, sales skills, and then learning, figuring out a business that you can do that will lead you to financial independence so that you can provide for yourself and your family without, you know, the day-to-day struggles. So that's what we hope for all Filipinos in the future. Yeah.
Wow, lovely. I see you have kids. Will they continue this until we reach the first world?
That's very interesting because last year awards, we actually invited our second son to come and he hosted, his co-host the awards, right? For him to see. But sabi niya sa amin, Ma'am, I think I'm happy in Toronto. Kasi they are both working with the government. Yung bunso namin, Alex, actually working with our premier in Ontario, while the older son, Chris, is working with the Ministry of Finance in Ontario. They also have that very strong heart in working with the government or in the community. Hindi ko nga alam kung saan nila nakuha yun.
Obviously from mom and dad. By the way, for nominations, before we say initially goodbye, you know, where can they send the nominations? It is flashed on your screen, but can you mention that as well, Richard?
Go to www.𝗂𝗏-CEO-awards.org. Click on the nominations in the menu, and it'll all appear before your eyes. And there's lots of other information too, but that would be a good place to get started.
Open for Business. We'll be back. Stay with us.
The categories for this year's Asia CEO Awards 2024 are SME Company of the Year, Entrepreneur of the Year, Diversity Company of the Year, Woman of the Year, Most Innovative Company of the Year, Sustainability Company of the Year, Young Leader of the Year, Wellness Company of the Year, Technology Company of the Year, IT/BPM Tech Blazer of the Year, Corporate Governance Company of the Year, CSR Company of the Year, CEO of the Year, Service Excellence Company of the Year, Top Employer of the Year. Nominations are now open.
Open for Business is back, and for business news, Maharlika Eyeing Investments and BCDA, the Maharlika Investment Corporation, and the Basis Conversion Development Authority signed a partnership to explore investment opportunities in the $4 billion projects on the properties under the former military bases. These include the expansion of Clark International Airport, affordable housing at New City Clark, Clark Integrated Public Transport System, Poro Point Seaport Modernization Program, and Clark Central Business District. RP meat imports in 2023 down by 16%, with higher domestic production. Meat imports by the country in 2023 fell by 16%. That's according to the United Nations Agency Food and Agriculture Organization. Imports in 2023 reached only 1.05 million metric tons versus 1.25 million metric tons in 2022. At the helm, an urgent drive for renewables. With only 6 years left before the target year, it's not too much to say the goal of the Philippines to double solar and quadruple its share of wind in power output is an ambitious plan. The country wants to increase its share of solar in power output from 2.4% to 5.6% in 2030 and wind from 3.1 to 11.7%. This will make the grid one of the cleanest in the region. The higher share of solar and wind is to offset a decline in the share of other clean sources such as hydropower and geothermal energy. Ayon kay 𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗏𝗃 ng Department of Energy, inaasahang bababa sa 9.1% mula 10% ang hydroelectricity habang bababa naman sa 7.7% mula 8.9% ang geothermal energy. Nakasandal ang Pilipinas sa mabilis na pagtatayo ng offshore wind farms. Tangi rito, inaasahang makakapagdagdag rin ng 1,200 megawatts ng nuclear capacity ang bansa sa 2032. At the Renewable Energy Markets Asia Conference, the DOE mentioned the country's plans to upgrade transmission infrastructure to accommodate the addition of renewables. The department also said it will create a long-term program aimed at facilitating the voluntary early decommissioning or repurposing of over 3.8 gigawatts of coal-fired power plants that are more than 2 decades old. Today, the share of coal in power generation is at 60%. The Philippines wants to reduce that to 47.6% in 2030. The government seems confident that these targets can be met.
Kami po sa Barangay 175, Barangay Bagong Buhay, Barangay Pasong Putik Proper, Barangay Greater Lagro, Barangay Baisa, ay certified by 𝗏25 Kabarangay Yo!
Let's live together. Sa 𝗏25. Sa 𝗏25.
And our buzzword of the week is benchmarking. It is the practice of comparing business processes and performance metrics to industry bests and best practices from other companies. Dimensions typically measured are quality, time, and cost. Business awards like the Asia CEO Awards serve a crucial purpose. They not only celebrate outstanding achievements, but also set a benchmark for excellence, inspiring others to innovate, push boundaries, and contribute to a thriving economy. We've seen that outstanding business leadership requires a unique blend of qualities, vision, strategic thinking, a commitment to innovation, and the ability to empower others are the hallmarks of truly exceptional business leadership. These leaders are the architects of a thriving economy, creating jobs, fostering growth, and shaping a brighter future. But most importantly, it's about empowering others, fostering collaboration, and building a team that drives success together. Remember, leadership isn't about titles, it's about the impact that you make. And with that, our quote of the week is, the greatest reward in business is to be able to help others to achieve their dreams. That's according to Mary Kay Ash, the founder of 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏 Cosmetics. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rebecca and Richard. Maraming salamat sa isang oras na pagsama sa amin upang tunghayan ang isang makabuluhang usapan ukol sa negosyo dito lang sa Open for Business. Hanggang sa susunod na linggo, samahan nyo kaming muli dito sa Open for Business. Catch us on Facebook and YouTube. Like and subscribe on our social media page at Net25TV. We will bring you more insights from industry experts, thought leaders, CEOs, and featured SMEs. Together, let us help encourage business development in the Philippines. Sharpen your business acumen. Feel the pulse and set the trend for as long as you're informed and open for business. Ito po si Cesar Vallejos. Marami pong salamat. Mga Kanet 25, this is Cesar Vallejos of Open for Business. For more updates, just click the subscribe button and follow us on Net25 social media pages at Net25TV and at Net25 Entertainment Facebook pages.